everybody, this is Chad Warren coming at you on September 15th, 12:27 p.m. Central Time, North Little Rock, Arkansas, USA. What am I here to talk with you about? I want to discuss the schizophrenia that occurs in the alt-right. Specifically, that they identify globalism as a problem, meaning that national sovereignty is corrupted by the international influence of the 9 families that own 98.5% of everything. Yet they believe that Donald Trump is able to speak and act as he wishes because he has money. That's naive. Okay? Now, I'm not here to attack Trump supporters. While on the one hand, I know that Masonic Luciferians control the left and right worldwide, that they started the American Revolution just like they run BLM today. Okay? If you are a conspiracy researcher and you see that AlQaeda and ISIS are created by the CIA as a false flag, then I don't understand why you can't also see that the Tea Party was a false flag, a created revolution that forced the colonists to have to side with independence, because that's the way it always goes down. That's the way it went down in around 2000 at the Battle of Seattle, the World Trade Organization. The vast majority, 99 point whatever percent of people were there peacefully protesting with signs. Okay? Then we had the masked people, whether they were Antifa or Black Bloc, whatever they call themselves, and they wore high-tech boots, which was suspicious, like somebody had bought them those boots, or maybe they were police. They were engaged with throwing Molotov cocktails at police from one building to another, which is what caused all the rest of the people to be told, you have to leave the downtown. You can't be inside, and then when you went home to be inside, the tear gas would waft into your house, which made you have to go outside. You see, this is in reality how things work. There's no sense in waiting for the people to take action. They are to take action. They're bred to consume and to participate only when they're told what to do. Okay? So, I saw a tweet, and it is a video article by Sky News, and it discusses a certain Chinese data company as having connections to Chinese intelligence for the purpose of compiling data profiles on the children of world leaders in order to blackmail them, is the proposition put forth in the discussion. Okay? So, my goal here is to have an impact on Trump supporters. The left, it appears, completely lacking in reason or any motivation to take this matter into their own hands, other than to revolt and attack black people with Black Lives Matter or whatever crazy thing they're doing. But then the problem with Christians and conservatives is that they think that they can just not get involved and that they can depend on their representatives. Okay? But that's not true, because the same way that communism and fascism, which are the same thing, run by the same 9 families that own 98.5% of everything can override the sovereignty of national governments, that's what is occurring here. So the truth community, which is essentially just people that have used the internet to research and to take action, which is, our duty as citizens, as humans. Okay? If one really believes that the foundation of their government is God and natural law, then it's irresponsible to depend on some external government that is more likely to be corrupt than you are. So the problem with this blaming the Chinese government, is that who started the Chinese government? Who started communism? It was the Rockefellers. They started the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. They sure did. Okay? Just like they also operated the Nazi Party and the Zionist Israeli situation. That's all you have to do, is speak for a group of people and pretend to be them, but really that's just a chess piece that's played by a hidden hand. Okay? So, like what goes on with science and experimentation on humans is that these companies can go to a place like China or Africa or Russia or the United States, and they can do experiments that other nations have more laws to protect, and they have more independent people that are going to police what's going on, like me, like you. So it's a shell game. The whole point of nations, is something that these 9 families create, so that it puts all of the responsibility and risk on the people, and it shields them from their liability. It's the same reason why a corporation exists, right? And that is benign at the level of, it floods a house, right? And if I don't have enough money to pay for that damage, of course you should have insurance as well, right? And if I can't afford the lawsuit that's put against me, then I, Chad Warren, don't go bankrupt. The company that I have formed as a corporation has limited liability based on its assets. Okay? So we have to be able to understand the value of both points of view of anything. And just as these secret societies and these 9 families operate in secret, occulted, we have to be able to value operating in the gray area of the twilight zone, not because we're outlaws or devious, but that you cannot label nature or God without that typically becoming more of a problem than a solution. So to label this problem as coming from China is not fair. It's not right when Trump says, the China virus, right? Because the same alt-right is discussing, here's this Harvard researcher who was arrested because he was sending virus research over to China, right? And Wuhan is where these viruses are created based on research in the West, because they can just use a CRISPR printer to make whatever they want to make. Synthesize it. And then who opened trade with China to the United States? It was Nixon, and he's Republican, right? Read economics professor Anthony Sutton's book, The Best Enemies Money Can Buy, which shows that, well, after the peasants revolted in Russia, which is similar to the French Revolution of cutting off people's heads, then they didn't know how to run the government, just like I don't know how to run the government. We barely even know who our elected official is, and even when you talk to people that have attempted to make change within the system, they'll tell you that it cannot be done because of how it's designed. And so we're seeing that we thought he had all these checks and balances, but what it ends up with is Trump saying, oh, well, it's up to your governors. I can't do anything about the Rona, and I can't do anything about the riots. So what good is your hope that you put into Trump? Is that the right way to achieve your objective? Obviously not. He's just as likely to force us to have a vaccine, or to give us a vaccine that will kill people because it came out too fast, just as anybody else did it. So, I'm looking for the people that are honest and fair and will follow the truth wherever it will lead. So nations exist as fronts that make, like the American Revolution makes America look like it's legitimate, that it really was we the people. But was it really we the people that started America? I remember as a child hearing a story about a woman that was outside of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, that was held in a building with locked doors, and nobody was allowed in there except for the aristocracy, the founding fathers, who were rich white landowners that were selected from within themselves. You see, not everybody was able to be represented. And she asked, what form of government do we have? And supposedly Benjamin Franklin told her when he came outside that we have a constitutional republic if we can keep it. So my message is that it is not anarchy to be an individual unit of humanity, an individual unit of Christianity, an individual unit of the world, of our nations, that is the only place where you can hope for any responsibility. The more that you defer to sources that are higher up in terms of power, whether they be in politics or media or business, then you know that they're getting closer to the 9 families that own 98.5% of everything. Okay? Look at all the ridiculous blackmail that is put on us. You can't go into this grocery store. So it doesn't matter what laws there are, right? Because the law, like here in America, reflects common sense. I don't have any rights inside a grocery store, just like they can't come into my private property. You see what I'm saying? If you value private property, you have to give them those equal rights. So this is what they don't teach you. They only show you the positive aspects of these things. The same goes with freedom of speech. The same reason that media can lie and they go, oh, it was a mistake, is the same reason why we have freedom of speech, so that we can't be arrested by saying something that's incorrect. That the burden is on the individual to assess whether something is true or not. And they can't use their feelings to justify attacking others in some form of self-defense. So, anytime we hear about an attack on a government, whether it's China or how terrible Australia's government is taking away the rights of people, we should understand that because people believe in this scam of nations, that they're not operated by us, right? Because you wouldn't need to have any kind of document, sign a paper here, wear this uniform. You wouldn't need that kind of representational government if you really had a government, because it would be free and it would be a concept that you could understand from somebody speaking it to you like I am now. And then it doesn't matter what somebody says or what's written down, it matters what we do. And natural law allows anything to occur, right? So laws only affect law followers, right, who would have done the right thing regardless of the law. And the only people that they protect are the organized criminals. Who cares if 25 people are arrested for pedophilia? You think that puts a dent in what's going on worldwide in terms of sex trafficking? Hell no. So it's actually wrong to support whatever some U.S. Marshal does. You see, it's not out of hate for authority. It is out of respect for the only authority that exists is between you and yourself. And then we can cooperate as a group of individuals. But everything else, that's the line that the majority of people are part of organized crime. You don't have to be the rich mob boss to be part of organized crime. If you accept what everybody else accepts, then you're just another lemming that jumps off a cliff because everybody else says so. Thank you.